So I'm here to present you our new environmental labeling, which is called the Environmental Index. As you may know, we've been working on that subject for several years, and Corinne Picard was here 2 years ago to make some presentation of the carbon index. Just to be very fast, Casino Group is present in 9 countries and employs around 200,000 people. In France, we have our own brand, which is the Casino brand, and represents around 4,000 products in food and cosmetic, and in global more than 20,000. So a little comeback in the year 2000 to 2010. In 2003, we did our bilan carbon, which brought us to take some measures and to take some actions to reduce the emission of the group, of the Casino Group. And in 2006, we started working especially on the products, on the Casino brand products, with packaging optimization division, and with the beginning of a study on how to label the environmental impact. This study brought us 2 years later in 2008 with the carbon index. So in 2010, we had deployed the carbon index on over 600 products that you could buy in the stores. And this methodology was taking the key stages from raw materials emission, ingredients emission, to the distribution and customer transportation. It's specific to the recipe, so that means that for each product we took into account the recipe of the product and the packaging and the fabrication energy and so on. So what happened is end of 2010, the French ministry launched the initiative that you heard about, and as with our position, with our, how would you say, the fact that we are quite advanced compared to the other, at least on labeling this information, we had to come up with a strong project. And that's why, end of 2010, we went to, I added this morning a slide because I saw there were some questions about surveys. So we did a survey on the carbon index, and it was in 2010. What we learned was that 80% globally of the customers understand the information, which you saw is very basic because it's a number printed in the front of the packaging. And 42% said that it was useful for them. So what was interesting is that people were starting to recognize that carbon index, but at the same time they said that some said they were using it. You know the difference between what you say and what you actually do. So just to answer, if you had any question about that, there were no sales modification linked to the carbon index. So back to the environmental index. So we decided to do a strong project because for the carbon index we had worked mainly with associations, with biointelligence service, and some suppliers, but this project only reflected on the Casino brand products. So for the environmental index, we tried to find some other companies, national brands. Of course, we worked with Biointelligence Service, and we contacted an NGO which is confidential because it's a technical partnership and it's not a commercial. So we cannot tell you the name of the NGO that worked with us. So we came up with a strong group and worked over the 6 months from January to approximately June of 2011. The idea when we went to see each company was to tell them, based on the experience we have with the carbon index, we are convinced that we need to display this multi-criteria information in front of the packaging, which means that we need to have a single mark. And if they had the same ID, they would join, and if they disagreed, which we didn't have any, they were free to work on something else or to wait the conclusion of the ministry project. So after 6 months of work, we came up with the environmental index, which has, you have to see it 2 different ways. For a consumer, this number you see, basically the lower you are, the better it is. So that's how we would talk to the consumers. For the technical people that you all are, there is a definition, which is for 100 grams of products, it's representing the percentage compared to the daily environmental impact of food consumption of an adult, which means that today, in average, a French adult is, on a day, has a 100% impact. So when you take your 3 meals and even snacks, well, in average, you are 100%. So, for example, this product, if you take 100 grams of grape juice, it represents 2.6% of the daily average impact. It includes 3 environmental criteria in all the stages of the life cycle of the product. Greenhouse gases, of course, water consumption, and water pollution, eutrophisation. Maybe my English is not very good for that. Of course, it's respecting the methodology defined by the ministry, which are the BBX 3323 and the recommendation of the food PCR. To help the consumer understand whether he needs to have a high mark or a low mark, we decided to come up with a little leaf. If you are quite good, the leaf on the left is lightening. If it's not that good, it's lightening on the right. As you probably noticed, this format with the percentage is inspired from the nutritional information that you have today on the packaging of the products. We wanted to capitalize on all this training that happened in the past years on nutrition to try to come up with something similar that would be easily understood by the consumers. What's interesting in this format is that, as you all know, today the methodologies are evolving. We're not set on 3 indicators. We chose the 3 indicators because environmental impact, because today the methodology is quite rigorous and we are able to calculate them. We didn't pick biodiversity because today there is no really defined methodology to measure it. But that doesn't mean that in the coming years that biodiversity or other criteria are not going to be standardized. So this percentage approach will help us integrate new environmental impacts in the coming years. For example, if we imagine the product was better than the others in biodiversity, and now we have a methodology to calculate it. If it was before 15%, tomorrow, if it was really good, maybe it's going to switch to 14%. So this way, we don't have to change all packagings because we want to add an environmental impact. And of course, you could imagine having an adaptation to the non-food with different criteria, but you could remain on the same display. At the back of the product, as we did for the carbon index, we came up with a definition to explain to the consumer what we're talking about. And since one of the information that we had to give was the impact by environmental impact, we had to provide a detailed information on the web. A way to do that is you have different ways to access this information. You can go on the website Indice Environnemental that you see on the bottom right of the slide. But you can also flash the QR code with your smartphone, and it will bring you automatically to the product that you've scanned. And this will give you the detailed information for each stage, for each criteria. Of course, depending on the size of the packaging, not all products have that QR code and that definition banner. So end of 2011, we're going to reach around 100 products. What's interesting is that in those 100, 70 are going to be a Casino brand, around 30 are going to be Monoprix, and there are going to be more than 20 products with national brands. Of course, these products are going to come in the stores gradually, depending on the inventory of the packaging. What's next for us is, well, to do the consumer survey to see how they understand this information, if they think it's interesting, how they see the future. And we're going to continue deploying this environmental index for two reasons. To gather information, I think Danone did a great explanation. They are not communicating this on the product today, which could be interesting. But they are gathering a lot of information, and they are working hard to reduce their environmental impact. So that's the same idea we have behind that. It's really to build a database that we already started the past years on a multi-criteria basis to try to identify which criteria to improve on which products with each supplier, really to try to work with each of our suppliers for the Casino brand. That's it. If you have any question.